me, but you are not part of the the demand crowd. So be yourself, be modest, be moderate in all that you do. Moderation is very key, part of life lessons. And of course, learn to be humble. You see, I tell people that for me, God has been good to me. There's nothing about that. And I do not take this for granted. And I do not take my friends for granted as well. I give respect to everyone around me, because respect is mutual and reciprocal. It doesn't matter. And just learn to be humble, because you don't lose anything.
Sure.
You don't lose anything at all when you're humble. And of course, firm, for me, I repeat, firm faith in God. So, irrespective of what I face in life, I believe that there's a purpose for it. God has a purpose for allowing whatever. I move on, and I have firm faith.
Dr. Mamora also advises Nigerians ahead of the 2023 elections.
It's a serious thing. Election is a serious matter that people should not toy with. They should not. You see, I think one of the philosophers of old did say that the greatest punishment for the wise who refuse to rule is to suffer the rule of idiots. And that is profound as far as I'm concerned. Very profound, So, don't sit down. So, answering your question, my advice is for people to participate and carry out that civic responsibility by voting born out of your conscience and your assessment of the candidates that are presenting themselves. And so I appeal to our people that let us eschew violence. There shouldn't be. It's supposed to be a process that is sober. Sober in the sense that, like I have told you, I have tried to analyze the importance of election. And if I'm using election, but I want you to know that it's a process. So, of three phases: pre-election, intra-election, and post-election. Aspirants, candidates to come forward with their plan of action, with their manifesto, and how they intend to achieve the good of the people. Because the good of the people is the supreme law. That is what we are all looking for.
Sure.
That's what the ordinary man on the street is looking for. How you get food to the table for the ordinary man, how the social services will work, transportation, health services, water supply, good infrastructure. Those are the things that matter. Nigerians, I believe, need a president with listening ear, who will see and appreciate the yearnings and aspirations of the people, and will have listening ear to give effect to the yearnings and aspirations. I mean, in a nutshell, that's the kind of a president at this point in time. Issues of security, issues of economy, issues of infrastructure. Those are issues, and people would naturally look forward to a president who will be able to combat insecurity and at least take it further from what the present administration has been able to do. The present administration has done well under President Muhammadu Buhari. No doubt about that.
Deaconess Olunlesi Mamora, a trained economist, had to give up her banking career to be able to take care of the home front. She has been married to Dr. Senator Adeleke Olorunimba Mamora for the past 41 years. She speaks about life with a politician and coping with the home front.
It's been good being married to him because he's my friend.
We met while we were still in the university. I met him in my first year in the university, which was 200 level, and ever since then, he has been my friend. So it's been good being married to him, because when I say friends, what does it mean for somebody to be your friend? For someone to be your friend, it means that you can relate with that person. That means you can joke with that person. That means you don't have to agree with that person all the time. So yes, we do disagree. That means when you disagree with that person, you don't allow it to linger. And that means that when someone is your friend, you respect that person. That person respects you. When someone is your friend, you also gossip. Yes, we do gossip. So it's been good being married to him.
A very highly placed traditional ruler of Ijebu-Ife, southeast of Ijebu-Ode, His Royal Majesty Oba Folorunsho Oguntayo, the Ajalorun of Ijebu-Ife, congratulated Senator Mamora on his new age and for positively projecting the ideals of Ijebu-Ife in all his undertakings.
We are happy, we are joyful that on the 16th of February, the 100 Minister will be celebrating 70th birthday. The entire Ijebu-Ife, all of us were happy. I wish him happiness. Already he's been blessed. And that God, our prayer is that God will continue to bless him and his family. And he can give more to the society, more to Nigeria, and to us in particular in Ijebu-Ife, because we are proud of him. We thank God for his life. We thank God for all he has achieved. So we wish him more years of service to our community, to Ogun State, and to Nigeria in general.
A globally acclaimed medical practitioner of immense accomplishments and a very quiet philanthropist, administrator and a professional in politics, Dr. Senator Adeleke Oloronimbe Mamora has acquitted himself creditably in the legislative and executive arms of government. What will be recorded as the hallmark of the tenure of Dr. Senator Adeleke Oloronimbe Mamora as Minister of State for Health was the unprecedented efforts collectively galvanized by the Federal Ministry of Health with the support of President Muhammadu Buhari to curtail the spread of coronavirus in 2021. In their congratulatory messages to Dr. Senator Adeleke Oloronimbe Mamora, colleagues who had served in various capacities at various levels with him in their political journey eulogized him greatly for having contributed significantly to the growth and sustenance of Nigeria's democracy. Senate President Emeritus, Senator Dr. David Mack, described Dr. Senator Adeleke Oloronimbe Mamora as an articulate legislator and a very reliable colleague who puts the country's interests uppermost in all his considerations.
That he should live long to render service to the nation, that he should grow old in good health. And I wish him all the best. I wish him God's protection and guidance. And I think Mamora is somebody who takes his faith seriously. He should continue to do that. But above all, I wish him long life and prosperity. Yes, I'm in a different political party. He's in a different political party, but we're friends. That doesn't stop our relationship. The political parties are just vehicles for you to attain your political ambition. They are not vehicles for fighting at all. And it's not a war. It's just, we should play politics with some level of decency and see it more as a vehicle rather than as an avenue for trading very bad words against each other. I don't think so.
Senator Lawal Shuaibu, who is the chairman of the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, who also served in the Senate with him, said, Dr. Senator Mamora has always represented humanity and has influenced the lives of all those who have encountered him in the course of his career.
You see, I told him that he's a lucky person. Not everybody gets to 70. To reach 70 is a big blessing. There is nothing you can do than to continue to give glory to God. To continue to thank God. Because the age of 70 is the age of wisdom, as they say. Not all live to see 70. But for those who have been able to get to 70, I can tell you that they are lucky. Yeah, they are lucky. And then when you see Mamora, if he tells you you're 70, you won't believe it. Yeah, you won't.
He doesn't look 70.
No. You think Mamora is about 60, 60 something. I'm telling you. Mamora doesn't look 60, I mean 70. And that is why people like him. You know? Of course, as human being, not everybody will like him. The majority of Mamora's friends, they love him. He has this very good human relations. Very good human relations. I wish him all the best. I wish him more years.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malama Adamu, described Dr. Senator Mamora as a quintessential gentleman who treats everyone with utmost respect and dignity.
When you are engaging with him, you are just coming across as a human being talking to another objective human being. You don't see any discrimination in him or looking at you as if you are different from him. And 70 years of, well, he has the proverbial age for man is 70. So now whatever he's going to get is a bonus. And I pray he uses the bonus like he used the actual 70 years, helping humanity, giving leadership to the nation, and contributing in whatever circumstances he finds himself. I believe he has more to give, and we are ready to receive more from him.
Senator Gbenga Shafa, the Managing Director and CEO of the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, who took over from Dr. Senator Mamora as Senator representing Lagos East Senatorial District in 2011, described him as a committed and selfless public servant who has over the years defined himself as a trustworthy symbol of fairness and equity.
His sense of dressing, his signature cap, and of course, he plays a very major role as a family man as well, because I know the wife, Olanlisi Mamora. They say behind every successful man, you find a woman. That's a woman of substance and a woman of beauty and his own jewel of inestimable value. I congratulate her as well. I congratulate the children, the Taye and Kehinde, congratulations. And to the Nigerian nation, I say congratulations for having a man that still has so much character and still in him. On this note, happy 70th birthday. I don't see you as a 70-year-old anyway. And now I can refer to you as my Edmond. No, don't worry. In 2 years' time, I will catch up with you. Well, you will be 72, I'll be 70 there. And I will expect you to do the same thing I'm doing now. Congratulations. God bless you.
Education is the key to unlocking opportunities in life, and it propels growth and development. This is why MEL, the acronym for Mamora Education and Leadership Foundation, was conceived by Dr. Senator Olorunimbe and Deaconess Mamora to create access to a bright future for vulnerable students. This will be through sponsorship of education in tertiary institutions, mentoring, entrepreneurship and leadership development.
We have a foundation, MEL Foundation. He's the chairman of the foundation. It is a non-political charity organization to create access to a bright future for vulnerable students in tertiary institutions through sponsorship, mentoring, entrepreneurial, and leadership training. And our vision is to raise an empowered, responsible, and successful generation of men and women.
Mel, Mamura Education and Leadership Foundation will be officially launched during the 70th birthday anniversary celebration of Dr. Senator Adeleke Olorunimbe Mamura in Lagos. As Dr. Senator Olorunimbe Mamura glides majestically into the prestigious League of Septuagenarians, we wish him more speed, long life, sound health, and strength in the days ahead. Amen. A service of praise and thanksgiving in commemoration of the 70th birthday anniversary of Dr. Senator Adeleke Olorunimbe Mamura was held on Thursday, February 16th, 2023, at the Christ Baptist Church, Gbagada, Lagos. The event had in attendance the celebrant, Dr. Senator Olorunimbe Mamura, and wife, Deaconess Olanlesi Mamura, as well as other family members including Engineer Moyo Mamura, son of the celebrant. Other high-profile guests at the service were former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo GCFR, Honorable Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Health Dr. Sage Hanire, Pastor and Mrs. Tunde Bakare, the Ajalorun of Ijebu-Ife, Oba Adeshesan Afolorunso Oguntayo, Senator Gbenga Shafa, Senator Kingsley Adeseye Ogunlewe, Dr. Olutoyin Okeowo, Professor Toyin Ashiru, among many others. The program started with an opening prayer led by Reverend Dr. Israel Christy Leary. The first Bible reading was taken by the celebrants, Dr. Senator Olorunimbe Mamura, from Psalm chapter 103.
As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. For he knows how we are formed. He remembers that we are dust. The life of mortals is like grass. They flourish like a flower of the field. The wind blows over it, and it is gone, and its place remembers it no more. Verse 17. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear him, and his righteousness is with their children's children, with those who keep his covenants and remember to obey his precepts. The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. Praise the Lord, you his angels, you mighty ones who do his bidding, who obey his word. Praise the Lord, all his heavenly hosts, you his servants who do his will. Praise the Lord, all his works everywhere in his dominion. Praise the Lord, my soul.
Testimonies and tributes in honor of the celebrants were given by Professor Toyin Ashiru, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Health Dr. Sage Hanire, among many others.
One thing about him, my wife, who is on her way here now, calls him Mandela. And the way he calls her Mandela is actually because of he sees him as the Mandela of our time. I'm not kidding you. And sometimes he calls him Nadiba, because he's somebody that we know that you have the love of Nigeria in heart. It does things great. And if Mamora Nimbus, as we call him, is another country, he will have been the president of Nigeria twice over, I can tell you, because I know him more than anybody else here. After 60 years, I can claim that I know him very well. Nimbus, I wish you many happy returns. I say that as your days increase, so shall your strength, so shall your prosperity, and you will always be happy. Each time you see your children and children's children, and your lovely wife, Lady Nimbus, you will always be happy. The love among you will continue to grow. Congratulations, many happy returns.
He's a friend, he's a kind person, he's honest. And believe me, there are very few Nigerians who are honest. There are very few. You need to be in politics to know that anybody who tells you anything in politics, please don't believe. Even if he says it here, they don't fear God. So when you manage to see one or two of them that are honest, praise God. Thank you.
That this is an easygoing man, easygoing, makes friends easily, is casual, but he knows what the business is about. Secondly, good team player. He understood that when you are working together, you have to make a decision, you consult. So he always consulted, what's your view on this, what's your view on that? So that the view always was common and uniform. And he understood something else which doesn't come very easy to all of us. Service above self. That is the motto of my school.
Speaking at the event, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo described the celebrant as a replica of his father, going by his traits of simplicity, humility, honesty, and integrity.
I don't have the honor and the pleasure of knowing the celebrant as a child. But when I first heard of him as a politician, then I asked, what Mamora is this? And they told me, and I said, is it the Mamora whose father was my teacher? And he said, yes. So, in that case, I can claim to know him because an apple never falls too far from the tree. And I know the father very well. So I wasn't surprised when he was performing as a politician, because he had all the attributes of his father: simplicity, humility, honesty, integrity, and, if I may add, Christianity.
In a recorded goodwill message, the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, described the celebrant as a cool, calm, and collected politician whose good qualities brought about lasting peace to the hallowed chambers of the Lagos State House of Assembly in the 90s. He added that the celebrant always speaks in a calm voice of reason, and his actions are always guided by a resolve to do the right thing.
Turns 70 today. I met the much younger Dr. Mamora in 1999 upon his election as a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. He had been subsequently nominated as Speaker of the House, but a faction of the House of Assembly at the time were opposed to his nomination. On the day of the proclamation of the Assembly, which was also the first session of the Assembly, as the then Governor Bola Tinubu tried to announce the inauguration of the Speaker, from nowhere, the opposing faction started throwing chairs all over the hallowed chambers, and physical encounters ensued between some of the members. The governor was taken out of the scene to his office, but barely an hour later, the governor returned to the House of Assembly, and the Mamora faction, who were in the majority, witnessed the inauguration of the House and the installation of Dr. Olonibe Mamora as the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. In the heat of the violence and the entirely rancorous process, Mamora was cool, calm, and collected. I've since learned that to be his natural mien and disposition. But he quickly thereafter accommodated the opposing faction and brought all together in the spirit of no victor, no vanquished. Throughout his tenure, until this day, there has never again been a single violent clash in the Lagos State House of Assembly.
In another recorded goodwill message by President Muhammadu Buhari, he spoke about how the celebrant was instrumental to his political success, describing Dr. Senator Mamora as a cultured man with many good attributes. The president concluded with prayers and good wishes for the celebrant.
Dr. Tan Fulshin has made a name as Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Senator of the Federal Republic, Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority, Minister of State for Health, and now Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. While I personally appreciate you for your service to our party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, and to Nigeria, our own dear native land, I also express my best wishes to your dear wife, children, and grandchildren. Congratulations and happy 70th birthday.
While ministering at the occasion, Reverend Dr. Israel Adelani Akonji, who was full of eulogies for the celebrant, described him as an extremely humble and patient man who is always resilient and thankful to God for everything.
Never giving up. That is his feature. He doesn't give up. He will calm down, but he doesn't give up. Highly relational with everybody, with smiles, with talks. Everybody is included. Highly disciplined. No one can live the kind of life that he has lived. I was glad to hear when one of his colleagues in the school said that he had always been an exceptionally neat person, even while they were students. Highly disciplined, highly gorgeous, highly industrious, highly committed to family life, a consistent follower of Christ. Somebody said, if there is a word, I think that's Professor Ashiru, I think I heard him saying that if there is one word to use to describe Mamora, it is consistency. And then somebody added reliability. And then while I was listening, somebody said credibility. Actually, when you go to the thesaurus, you will discover that consistency, reliability, responsibility, all of these things belong to the same class used. Very frank, a great encourager. I remember several times I went to him, I was sick, and after complaining, he would just say, Pastor, is that all? I said, is that all? So, do you know how I'm feeling? He said, is that all? And at the end of the day, he simplifies everything for us.
After the ministration, special prayers were said for the celebrant and members of his family. Speaking at the service, the celebrant, Dr. Senator Olorunimbe Mamora, appreciated everyone for coming. He expressed gratitude to God with songs of praises and stated that his achievements are not by power, not by might, but by the special grace of God.
Aráyé o, ẹ bá mi jó. Gbogbo aráyé o, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. Àádọ́rin ọdún tí mo ti ń bá bọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ o, f'Olúwa o. That is 70 years on the stage of life. I have every reason to thank God. Somebody said it earlier on, the life expectancy. For females in Nigeria, it's 52. For men, it's just about 47. So, if I've been privileged to live 70 years so far, I have every reason to thank God. And that is the reason for this event, primarily. If you see that program, it says, Service of Praise and Thanksgiving.
There was a special Thanksgiving where BJ Sax rendered praise and worship tunes with his saxophone. The Thanksgiving service ended with a closing remark by Engineer Moyo Mamora, celebrant's son. After the service, the reception and unveiling of Mel Foundation and launch of the book, Olorunimbe, was held at the Haven Event Center, Ikeja, Lagos. The high-level occasion, which was anchored by popular comedian Gbenga Adeyinka, had in attendance Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, former Governor of Ogun State and Chairman of the occasion, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, who also represented Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Honorable Olumisan Ayedatiwa, represented the Governor. Sir Dr. Kensington Adebukwola Adebutu, the Chief Launcher, was represented by Are Kola Oyefeso, Senator Ganiu Solomon, Senator Mohammed Sanusi Dagash, Erilu Abiola Dosumu, Prince Bisi Olatilo, the Chairman and CEO Biscon Communications, Professor Tony Ashiru, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Princess Sarah Adebisi Shoson, Alhaji Razak Okoya, Justice Adeshola Oguntade, Chief Segun Oshoba, former Governor of Ogun State, among many others. The event witnessed briefings on the mission and vision of Mel Foundation, given by the wife of the celebrant, Deaconess Olanlesi Mamora.
What is the mission of Mel Foundation? So Mel Foundation is creating access to a bright future for indigent students through tertiary education sponsorship, mentoring, entrepreneurial and leadership training. And our vision is to raise an empowered, successful and responsible generation. And our slogan is education is power. And the next question that should come to mind is that if you want to assist the indigent students, why focus on education? Education, of course, is a vital tool in breaking the poverty cycle in many families. Education as well is the SDG 4 is focused on education, and it is our desire, and we are committed in contributing to the attainment of the SDGs, no matter how modest.
The book review was done by Professor Eosa Osagaye, Director General of the Nigeria Institute of International Affairs.
Yes, this is a man of conviction, and the book reflects the fact that he was actually mobilized by many forces to get into the political fray. This man, whose alliances include Nimbus and several other names that you will find in that book, has traversed the entire territory of Lagos State. And from very humble beginnings, he joined politics. He joined at the time when the country was in the throes of a transition process that was superintended over under the government of General Sani Abacha. And he went from there to join the first phase of the transition that finally led to the liberation transition in 1999. He served as a local government chairman by mobilization, and inch further, he went through the ranks of party politics and was chair and secretary at different levels.
While the unveiling of Mel Foundation and the launch of the book, Olorunimbe, was coordinated by Gbenga Adeyinka, the events compare. The launch ended with a vote of thanks which was given by Engineer Moyo Mamura, son of the celebrant. After the lunch, the reception started proper with the grand entry of the celebrant, Dr. Senator Olorunimbe Mamura, and his family. The cutting of the 70th birthday anniversary cake was coordinated by the chairman of the occasion, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, while the toast was proposed by the event compare, Gbenga Adeyinka.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Relax, I'm not there yet. 65. Mrs. Please steady your hand. 66. 67. 68. 69 and 70.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Senator. Happy birthday to. Let's stretch our hands towards him. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you. We pray. May the good Lord bless you. We wish you many happy returns of this day. Long life and prosperity. Hip, hip, hip!
The event was brought to an end afterwards as BJ Sax and Ima Oh My God entertained guests with the best of music as merry-making continued until the end. From Biscon Communications, it's 70 hearty cheers to Dr. Senator Adeleke Olorunimbe Mamura.
On Wednesday, March 6, 2024, at the Lagos Continental Hotel in Victoria Island, Lagos, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President of the African Development Bank, was honored with the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo Prize for Leadership. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, a distinguished Nigerian economist, currently serves as the President of the African Development Bank. He previously held the position of Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development and served as the Vice President of Policy and Partnerships for the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. Dr. Adesina was elected as the President of the African Development Bank in 2015 and re-elected for a second term in 2020, making him the first Nigerian to hold this esteemed position. Among the notable attendees were His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, represented by Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, General Yakubu Gowon, former military head of state, and wife, Mrs. Victoria Gowon, former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan GCFR, former President of Ghana, His Excellency John Mahama, Ambassador Dr. Olatukunbo Awolowo Dosunmu, Executive Director of the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, former Commonwealth Secretary General and Chairman of the Selection Committee of Obafemi Awolowo Foundation, Chief Samuel Ayodele Adebanjo, a close associate of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, His Excellency Faure Nasingbe Eyadema, President of Togo, represented by Prime Minister Mrs. Victoria Tomega Dogbe, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu, President of Tanzania and Chairperson of the occasion, Her Excellency Saleh Work Zewede, President of Ethiopia, His Excellency Azali Assoumani, President of Comoros, and his wife Ambari Assoumani, His Excellency Namadi Sambo, former Vice President of Nigeria, Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, Governor of Jigawa State, Malam Umar Namadi, Governor of Kebbi State, Nasser Idris, represented by his Deputy Governor Umar Abubakar Tafida, Governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, Governor of Niger State, Mohammed Umaru Bago, former Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, Sir Kensington Adebutu, CON, ably represented by Are Kola Oyefeso, former Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosu, former Governor of Osun State, Mr. Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola, former Governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Kayode Fayemi, former Governor of Kogi State, Idris Wada, former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District, Senator Shehu Sani, His Royal Majesty Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi, the Ooni of Ife, His Royal Highness Oba Babatunde Adewale Ajayi, the Akari Igbo and paramount ruler of Remo Land, His Royal Majesty Igwe Nnaemeka Alfred Ugochukwu Achebe, the Obi of Onitsha, Ogiame Atuashe III, the Olu of Warri, Prince Bisi Olatilo, Chairman CEO Biscon Communications, Are Dele Momodu, CEO Publisher Ovation Media International, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, Chairman Nigeria Diaspora Commission, Mr. John Momo, Chairman CEO Channels Media, among others. Ambassador Dr. Olatukunbo Awolowo Dosunmu, in her welcome address, expressed delight at hosting the distinguished guest and provided insight into the selection process for the prestigious prize. She highlighted Dr. Adesina's exemplary leadership qualities making him a worthy recipient of the award.
Mr. Ban Ki-moon and Professor Verkoyen, for example, jointly affirmed that they could, and I quote, think of no person more highly qualified or deserving of this prestigious award other than Dr. Adesina, who they declared is forged in the same mold as Chief Obafemi Awolowo, a shining example of leadership. Former President Jonathan said Dr. Adesina epitomizes and combines qualities of extraordinary leadership that are often rare to find: great visionary, incredible courage, the ability to take on huge and difficult challenges, extraordinary dedication, and commitment to deliver programs and policies that transform the lives of millions of people. These are some of the beautiful rainbow hues of the nominations that clinched this award for Dr. Adesina. If any further proof was needed of his established place on the global stage, a quick glance around this hall would more than suffice. I congratulate him most sincerely.
A minute of silence was observed in honor of late banking icon Mr. Herbert Wigwe, followed by a special telecast showcasing the life and achievements of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Chief Emeka Anyoku, chairman of the selection committee, spoke about the criteria for selecting honorees, emphasizing Dr. Adesina's alignment with the values demonstrated by Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
I should perhaps, as chairman of the selection committee for the award, speak briefly about how the committee reaches its decisions on the recipient of the award. The premise for our deliberation derives from the prescription contained in the committee's founding literature, which is that the award is intended to recognize a leader in public service who has demonstrated most, if not all, the attributes for which the sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, was known in his public service to the people, first in the then Western region, and also to the people of Nigeria as a whole. Suffice it for me to say that out of the many reputable nominations received, members of the selection committee unanimously considered Dr. Akinwumi Adesina as having in his career to date, in a large measure, the Chief Obafemi Awolowo's attributes that I have sought to describe. I thank you all.
General Yakubu Gowon, chairman of the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation, expressed pleasure at the gathering and underscored Dr. Adesina's significant contributions, affirming his suitability for the prize.
I have great pleasure in welcoming you all to the award ceremony of the Obafemi Awolowo Prize for Leadership 2023. The prize was instituted in 2012 in honor of the late sage and one of Nigeria's founding fathers, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, son, GCFR, to recognize and reward excellence in leadership. As is generally well acknowledged, as you have heard, Chief Awolowo exemplified exceptional
transformational leadership, as made evident by the various leadership positions he held in his lifetime. At various times, he was the Premier of Western Region of Nigeria and the leader of the opposition in Nigeria's federal parliament.
Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of Tanzania, commended Dr. Adesina's visionary leadership and congratulated him on the well-deserved recognition.
Congratulations again, my dear brother Akim, a great son of Nigeria and a great son of Africa, in whom we are very proud. I can confidently say that Dr. Adesina is not only Africa's optimist-in-chief, Adesina is one of Africa's foremost Pan-African leaders of the 21st century. And if I am to describe Adesina in one paragraph, I would say he knows the weight of his responsibility that rests upon his shoulders, and he carries it with grace, not Grace the wife, but with grace. Lastly, but not least, and in a high degree of respect, I also wish to recognize Dr. Adesina's better half and her contribution. While some say behind every successful man there is a woman, I can say in this case that we confidently say, besides the highly successful Adesina, there is lovely wife Grace.
President Azali Assoumani of Comoros acknowledged the importance of the occasion and praised Dr. Adesina's transformative leadership at the African Development Bank.
Il a prouvé à maintes reprises qu'il est un dirigeant sensible à la cause de l'Afrique. Il a prouvé aussi qu'il est un dirigeant au cœur sensible qui se suit profondément des gens.
He has proven time and again that he is a sensitive leader with Africa always at his heart. He has proven time and again that he is a leader with a sensitive heart, a leader who is people-centered.
Je dirais pour conclure que l'Afrique gardera toujours en mémoire vos réalisations comme étant celles de l'un des meilleurs dirigeants qu'elle ait connu. Mon frère Adesina, nous sommes très fiers de toi et notre continent l'Afrique est aussi fier de toi.
In conclusion, I would like to say that Africa will always remember your achievements as those of one of the finest leaders it has ever known.
Avant de vous dire merci, Adesina, c'est un frère de cœur. Et on dit qu'on choisit les amis, mais on ne choisit pas les frères. Il y a un secret entre lui et moi, mais je lui laisse le choix de choisir le moment et le lieu de dire ce secret.
My brother Adesina, we are very proud of you, and the continent is very proud of you. But before I conclude, I would like to say that you are my brother at heart. We are together, and each time you want us to meet, we will do that. The choice is yours.
Toutes mes félicitations, je vous remercie.
My hearty congratulations.
Her Excellency Saleh Work Zewde, President of Ethiopia, emphasized the need for inspirational leaders like Dr. Adesina to address Africa's challenges and praised his global impact through the African Development Bank.
Since Dr. Adesina took the presidency of the bank, through the support of the ADB, which provided us with access to heat-tolerant wheat varieties, Ethiopia, in spite of the many challenges has become also a producer of wheat, leading to self-sufficiency in only 4 years. The area cultivated under heat-tolerant heat varieties in Ethiopia has expanded from 5,000 hectares in 2018 to over 1.2 million hectares in 2003. We need this hope and concrete action to showcase that Africa can become indeed self-sufficient in food. Dr. Adeshina's ability to easily connect with people, it has been said by the previous speakers, has helped drive development success in Africa, because one needs a highly trusted and respected global leader to do that.
Prime Minister Victoria Tomega-Dogbe, representing President Faure Gnassingbé of Togo, conveyed warm regards and highlighted Dr. Adeshina's exemplary leadership qualities. The event included a video presentation highlighting Dr. Adeshina's tenure as President of the African Development Bank and a citation delivered by Mr. John Momo. The highlight of the occasion was the presentation of the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Award to Dr. Adeshina by Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, followed by the presentation of a gold medal by Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan in the presence of other African leaders and dignitaries. The event showcased a spoken word performance titled Greatness by Nigerian artist Miriam Buka Hassan. In his acceptance speech, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, the 2023 laureate, thanked attendees and specifically recognized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his hospitality. He also expressed gratitude to the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation for honoring him with the prestigious award and highlighted his admiration for Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
I am particularly humbled, Grace and I, that you all are here today. We're filled with emotion, overjoyed, and filled with very deep and sincere appreciation for your being here to honor us out of your schedules, extremely busy. But you're going to have to permit me, because I have to say many thank yous, but let me start by saying thank you to every single one of you. Thank you, and thank you. I am deeply humbled and honored. Let me say, I wish to especially recognize His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President, GCFR President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by His Excellency Kashim Shettima, GCO and Vice President to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being here, sir. And I'd like to, through you, convey to His Excellency the President my deepest appreciation for the exceptional reception and the full state honors that were given to the visiting heads of state. A nation where a majority prosper, not just a privileged few. A nation that provides real opportunities for the youth. A nation where equality of opportunities for women is a reality, not a dream. A nation where hope is ignited and dreams are realized. A nation known for wealth, not poverty. A nation set on a hill whose light will never be hidden. A new Nigeria we all can collectively call home. So help us God, and I thank you very much.
Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, representing President Tinubu, praised Awolowo as a national hero and commended Dr. Adeshina's leadership. Shettima conveyed President Tinubu's good wishes and urged patience amidst national challenges.
Like Chief Awolowo, our honoree today has exemplified the values that have shaped the course of history at all the institutions he has headed, all the offices he occupied. I am therefore thrilled that the Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize is set out to honor a prophet in his home today. This is the power of standing for one's convictions and serving humanity fairly. But it is not just time that will pierce through the fleeting shadows of skepticism and propaganda endured in the service of the people. Rather, it is the resolve of the people to stand for honesty and justice, even when they do so alone, and even when they are outnumbered. In celebrating Dr. Adeshina's achievements, we are not merely acknowledging a leader, we are recognizing a role model and mentor who paves the way for current and future generations. His journey from the esteemed institution now named after Chief Aulo attests to the transformative power of looking ahead in preparing to hit the runway of history. His ability to navigate the complexities of his role at the African Development Bank showcases not only his competence, but also his resilience in the face of challenges. Once again, on behalf of my principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ECFR, and on behalf of the good people of Nigeria, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to our dear brother, my friend, and my brother, Dr. A.
The event concluded with a ceremonial cake cutting, photo session, and the Nigerian national anthem.
Joe Biden gave a stumbling performance in a 90-minute showdown with Donald Trump, the first televised debate of the 2024 presidential election campaign. Ahead of the November 5th election, President Joe Biden is seeking a re-election bid in the Democratic Party, while his main rival, Donald Trump, is contesting again under the Republican Party after his 2020 election defeat. The two men traded words on abortion, immigration, the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, their handling of the economy, and even their golf games, as they each sought to shake up what opinion polls show has been a virtually tied race for months. The Biden campaign had hoped that a strong debate would quell concerns among voters that the 81-year-old Democratic incumbent is too old to serve a second four-year term. Instead, a hoarse-sounding Biden stumbled over his words at times, especially in the early stages of the debate. Democrats have expressed concern at the president's performance, with party insiders saying his early answers triggered panic. Among others, one Biden donor called his performance disqualifying and predicted that some Democrats would revisit calls for Biden to step aside in favor of another candidate ahead of the party's national convention in August. Also, a senior Democratic strategist said that it would be unprecedented for an incumbent to pull out this late in the election cycle, but that there would be calls for Biden to do just that. However, California Governor Gavin Newsom, who could be a leading Democratic alternative if Biden stepped aside, dismissed the notion that Biden could be replaced. Amid all the criticism, some of Biden's allies supported him, as Vice President Kamala Harris said, though it was a slow start, but there was a strong finish, arguing that voters should judge Biden and Trump based on their years in office. Donald Trump, 78, has also faced questions about his fitness for office, given his conviction last month in New York for carrying out hush money payments to a porn star, his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, and his chaotic term in office. He is scheduled to be sentenced in New York on July 11, just days before his party convenes to formally nominate him. But despite a litany of falsehoods from Trump during the debate, the focus in the aftermath was squarely on the incumbent, Joe Biden. The debate at CNN headquarters in Atlanta took place far earlier in the campaign, with more than 4 months before the November 5 election. With opinion polls showing the race in a dead heat going into the debate, even a small shift could alter the campaign's trajectory. Meanwhile, the second and final debate in this year's campaign is scheduled for September. Biden is scheduled for a rally today in Raleigh, North Carolina, a state that Democrats hope to win back from Republicans this November, before flying to New York for a fundraiser and the opening of a monument dedicated to the 1969 Stonewall riot for LGBT rights. While Trump will also hold a rally in Virginia, a state where he has lost twice but hopes to put into play in November.
As the Biscon Tv show, BOS, the globally acknowledged leading brand in the cutting-edge, inimitable production of groundbreaking events dating back many decades, prepares to celebrate its Silver Jubilee anniversary. It's time to blow our own trumpet resoundingly, stating the qualities that have continued to endear the BOS brand to all our fans across and beyond Nigeria. In the last 25 years, the Biscon Tv show, BOS, which is the longest-running general interest magazine program on television in Nigeria, has covered and broadcasted events of social, economic, corporate, political, and entertainment values every week unfailingly. With iconic events dating back many decades captured for posterity, BOS honors those living and immortalizes the dead everlastingly. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, proudly boasts of being one of the broadcast outfit with the richest library of archives of past events. The Biscon Tv show's awesome archive of iconic events parade the coverage of convocations of universities, coronations of traditional rulers, inaugurations of state governors in Nigeria, the inaugurations of Nigerian presidents, and President Barack Obama of the United States of America. 2010 World Cup in South Africa, covered by the ubiquitous Biscon Tv show, BOS. BOS was also at the inauguration of the Alake of Egbaland 16 years ago, Oba of Benin 8 years ago, Oni of Ife, Ulu of Warri, and many more. As for the birthday, anniversary, and weddings of the high and mighty in the society, the BOS archives is replete with very exciting pan and beyond Nigerian super coverages. As for the festivals like Calabar Carnival, Ujude Oba Festival of the Ijebus, Lishabi Festival of the Egbas of Ogun State, and others, the Biscon Tv show BOS simply is the toast of all. The corporate concerns, the banks, telecommunication companies, and other business concerns have made BOS their prime choice over the years. The newspapers, state governments would rather the almighty Biscon Tv show give the coverage of their awards our inimitable packaging as exemplified by what we have in the awesome BOS archives. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, is the preferred choice of state governments in the propagation and publicity of their programs to their different constituents in different states, because the Biscon Tv show is the #1 program they've all been watching religiously in the last 25 years. In fact, the Biscon Tv show, BOS, commissioned to provide a comprehensive nationwide campaign program for President Goodluck Jonathan, President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Bola Tinubu, which took the BOS team around the country campaigning for votes for the candidates at the time. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, was also involved in rigorous campaign for Governor Duoye Diri of Bayelsa State, Senator Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, and Governor Gboyega Oyetola of Osun State. Incidentally, these were all clients of BOS from the two different political parties, APC and PDP. Also, in the very rich archives of BOS, with events that span over 25 years, is the one where BOS paid an everlasting honor to immortalize Nigeria's First Lady of all times, Mrs. Stella Obasanjo, who died 19 years ago. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, the first and the best, still remains on the very top of our game.
Welcome to Biscon Television, where creativity meets impact. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further, because we've got you covered. I am Olapeju Ajidagba, and today I'm thrilled to introduce you to the power of Biscon. At Biscon TV, we're not just an advertising company. We're storytellers. We believe that every brand has a unique story to tell, and we're here to help you share that story with the world. Whether you're a small startup or a well-established corporation, our team of creative experts is dedicated to crafting unforgettable advertisements tailored to your brand's personality and objectives.
From concept development to post-production, we handle every aspect of advertising process with precision and passion. Our goal is simple: to create ads that not only grab attention, but also leave a lasting impression on your audience.
But don't just take our word for it. Let's hear from some of our satisfied clients.
Biscon should be seen as the traditional tablet to reduce blood pressure. Now, myself and my wife, Biscon have made it easier for us to sit together and watch a program. Not watching any film or anything, but watching the social activities which reduce tension. So I must thank you.
Today, we find out that he is arguably one of the longest running shows on television, and I stand corrected with that. This is, of course, the Biscon Tv show.
So I'm very happy to be associated with Biscon TV, and I hope Biscon TV all the best. The most exciting part of it all for me is the fact that it's 24 hours. And on a personal note, he's a gentleman, who really understands the nitty-gritty of broadcasting, radio, TV, you name it.
Like I said earlier on, it's an national game, and it's a media all socialites wants to associate with. And if you are rural in Nigeria and this one is not there when you are having your entertainment or whatever program, just like I had when I gave my daughter's hand in marriage recently, it's the top notch, and people will stay all night just to watch this one. So kudos to you, and wish you all the best as we continue to pray for more improvements and more entertaining programs that will keep us alive and continue to respect the television.
So it's a good program. As for the television, initially when it started, I thought it was more of news. So going forward, it probably needs going forward more content, more lifestyle, something different from what other people are doing.
Prince Bisi Olatilo is undoubtedly one of Nigeria's finest broadcasters and a distinguished talk show host. His iconic Bisi Olatilo show has left an indelible mark on the lives of countless Nigerians, providing a platform for insightful discussions, in-depth analysis, entertainment, and enlightenment. His commitment to excellence and his dedication to the art of broadcasting have set a high standard for generations to come.
Your face has been a constant companion to countless viewers, providing not just entertainment, but comfort, news, and a sense of community. For decades, your unique style has graced the airwaves, evolving with the times, yet always retaining that personal touch that makes your show, the Bisi Olatilo's show, so special. You've been more than a presenter. You've been a friend, a guide, and a voice of reason in an ever-changing world.
Well, Egbon Bisi, like I usually call him, that's my pet name for him. Egbon Bisi is one man I appreciate, one man I cherish, one Yoruba man that has told me over years how much he appreciates what I stand for too, and that means a lot to me. Egbon Bisi, as your days shall strength be, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We love you. We appreciate you. May the Lord teach you to number your days, and may you apply continually your heart unto wisdom. May you serve God stronger, better, more efficiently.
Man that have used his ingenuity, his professionalism, and everything has given him to cut across this country as a bridge builder. The Igbos will see them. The Hausas will see BC as one of them. Even the Yorubas cannot claim ownership of BC. They can't claim ownership of BC. Because when BC speaks Igbo, you will think that he is a proper Igbo man. He doesn't speak Igbo with an accent or with anything that will make you not to believe that he's Igbo. In fact, he even knows how to crack jokes and go deeper in Igbo language. Bridge builder. You are a truly detribalized Nigerian. So God Almighty will continue to bless you. And if there's anything to go by, BC, you have promoted journalism to a point that is now enviable. We know when you started from Radio Nigeria, Biscon Tv of those days, to Biscom, to everything about it.
And we all look up to you. And thank you for not relenting, for not stopping this journalism. And like John said, you've etched your name forever, and your light will shine forever.
I just want to say that BC Olatilo is no longer a Yoruba man. Some of you may think because his name sounds BC Olatilo is a Yoruba man. No, I think he's even more of an Agenebode, Iyukwe person. Because when we are there, he's as much at home there as he is anywhere in this country. Not just because he's a polyglot, but he's truly the archetypal Nigerian. He's a pan-Nigerian, a pan-African.
Tilo is a professional of no mean standing, multilingual, a Nigerian by all definitions, and somebody who has decided to always look at the positive side of life.
So my prayer for my big brother, Mr. B, is that God will continue to give him the good health, the knowledge, the wisdom to even do better, because age is not necessarily a barrier. And they know again, because he's personally involved in his job, he needs to be up and doing. When all those things are done, when he has multiple events that he cannot attend, when he sends people to come and bring the videos, he still sit back in the studio and voice it over. That's his special voice, which is his talent. He continues to use it to work, and that he will continue to work for longer years to come in Jesus' name.
So as a broadcaster, he's paid his dues. He's one of the, if you like, if you chronicle the history of broadcasters in Nigeria who have paid their dues, this is certainly one of them. He's very humble, very meek.
If any man that can be called a true Nigerian, BC Olatilo, you are one. Not only do you speak the three Nigerian languages, the major Nigerian languages, you know Nigeria as well as anybody may claim to know Nigeria.
It's not tribalism. And I would ask you, how many of us can speak the three main languages of Nigeria? How many of us?
And I prayed for you. My prayer to you on this occasion, I'm going to confess everything. God will give you all that you wish in your life. In the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
We've known ourselves for so many years. I remember when he was about to start his Biscon, we talked about it. started it, we encouraged him, and today he's a superstar. We all pray and adore him.
What impact one has had on others, judging by that yardstick? My brother, Prince Olatilo, has had a lot of achievements. Your life has been that of service and honor. You know, I met him about 25 years ago when I was minister. He had made an impression on me. And I was happy that he told me he was going to establish his own company, and he's doing very well. Congratulations. I always watch your Biscon because it is anti-aging. When I watch it, I dance with them, people who are dancing, people who are rejoicing, and I must say, you've done very well. You've taught many lives, and I congratulate you. I believe has the greatest, the biggest heart, larger than life most of the time. So, what else can one say about such a wonderful person? And of course, a true royal. The way he carries himself, the way he comports himself, is constantly reaching out, is constantly supportive. He's always there for everyone, without expectations in return.
A man who is extremely intelligent, deliberate, intentional, conscientious, consistent, reliable, dependable. Am I lying? Should I go on? You know, a quintessential media guru. Not an accidental one. This man went to university and studied media.
BC transported himself to greater heights and made sure that he did not just stop there, he surpassed what the expectations are. And today, we can boast that Bisi Olatilo has become a household name internationally as well, and he has made his mark as best as he can.
So, what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of successful brands who have partnered with Biscon TV to elevate their advertising game. Contact us today and let's make magic happen together.
It's the news hour on Biscon Television. I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for joining us again. We'll begin with the headlines. On the national scene, President Tinubu approves 70,000 naira minimum wage to Nigerian workers. Federal government makes U-turn, sets 16 as minimum age for tertiary institutions. In business news, CBN sells forex to BDCs at 1,450 naira to $1. On the foreign scene, European Union Commission re-elects von der Leyen. And in the weather sports, Paris Olympics Athletes Village officially opens ahead of sports games. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has approved 70,000 naira as the new minimum wage for Nigerian workers, with a promise to review the national minimum wage law every 3 years. This is coming after the leadership of the organized labor, comprising of Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, today met with the federal government at the presidential villa, Abuja. The special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, in a statement on his social media page, confirmed the development, adding that President Tinubu also promised to review the national minimum wage law every 3 years. In the statement, the president also promised to find ways to assist the private sector and the subnationals to pay the minimum wage. Meanwhile, the labor union leaders praised President Tinubu's fatherly gesture as the president vowed to exercise his executive discretion in addressing the outstanding 4-month salaries owed to university unions. Now, a bill sponsored by Senator Asoko Efeyong, representing Cross River South, seeking to establish the South-South Development Commission, has been stepped down by the Senate. The bill failed to scale second reading after a voice vote where lawmakers unanimously declined to give back into the bill. In a debate, the lawmakers argued about the propriety of establishing multiple agencies, particularly against the backdrop of an existing commission in the Niger Delta. However, as soon as he concluded his lead debate, the bill was immediately opposed by senators who spoke after him. And the ensuing voice vote, the House became divided, and after the voice votes, the bill was stepped down for further consultation. In a later development, the Education Minister, Professor Tahir Maman, has made a U-turn in his earlier statement, where he directed the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to admit only candidates who have attained 18 years in tertiary institutions. Today, the Education Minister, in a policy meeting organized by JAMB in Abuja, announced that only applicants who were 18 years and above were eligible for admission. Stakeholders in the meeting kicked against his statement, noting that it's illogical for a 16-year-old student to pass WAEC, JAMB, and be denied admission. Reacting, the minister later accepted the suggestions of the stakeholders that from 16 years and above should be eligible for this year's admission, while the law would apply from next year. Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has approved 140 as the cutoff mark for 2024 admission into the nation's universities and 100 for polytechnics and colleges of education, respectively. In another development, as Nigeria faces urgent challenge in ending mother-to-child HIV transmission, the federal government has taken a decisive step in the fight against HIV and AIDS by inaugurating a prevention of mother-to-child transmission and pediatric HIV scale-up acceleration plan committee at the national level. The move comes amid disturbing statistics revealing that an estimated 170,000 children under 14 are living with HIV in Nigeria. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, who inaugurated the committee at the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, said in line with global best practices, a multi-sectoral committee comprising technocrats and bureaucrats was inaugurated to ensure delivery on the mandate of tracking implementation along the federal 4 pillars of plan. Alausa stated that the federal government is committed to ensuring that no child is born HIV positive and that those who are positive to receive quality care, adding that government will unlock value chains by collaborating with those willing to commence domestic production of HIV commodities in ensuring health security. You're watching Biscon Television News. The news continues shortly. Welcome back. It's now time for business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria today sold dollars to eligible Bureau de Change operators at the rate of 1,450 naira to a dollar. This was disclosed in a statement signed by A.A. Mahdi, the acting director of the Trade and Exchange Department at the CBN. Meanwhile, the sales is coming days after the Apex Bank sold $120 million to authorized dealers. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators in Nigeria claimed that they were excluded in that tranche of forex sales. In the latest move, the CBN said it has approved the sales of forex to eligible Bureau de Change to meet the demand for invisible transactions. The sum of $20,000 is to be sold to each BDC at the rate of 1,450 naira to a dollar, representing the lower band of the trading rate at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Markets in the previous trading day. Premising the move on the ongoing reforms in the foreign exchange markets, the SBN said it has observed the continued distortions in the retail end of the markets, which is feeding into the parallel markets and further widening the exchange rate premium. You're watching Biscon Television News. The news continues shortly.
This is Biscon Politics. The recent ruling by the Supreme Court regarding local government autonomy has been embraced by the governors elected under the banners of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Newsmen report that the Supreme Court's declaration on July 11 stated that it is unconstitutional for state governors to withhold funds intended for local government administrators. Additionally, the court barred governors from disbanding democratically elected local government councils. Following a week after this significant ruling, the PDP governors expressed their acceptance of the Apex Court's decision. The state leaders, however, emphasized the need for careful implementation of the court's ruling. Moving on, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed the appeal brought before it by All Progressive Congress (APC) and its governorship candidate Timothy Silva to challenge the judgment of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. The tribunal had its judgment delivered May 17, 2024 in Abuja, upheld the election and the return of Senator Deyedili and his deputy, Senator Lawrence Orijapo, as lawfully elected governor and deputy respectively. Justice James Abundaga, who read the lead judgment of the Court of Appeal, affirmed the declaration of duty and the People's Democratic Party as the joint winners of the November 11, 2023 poll. He awarded a cost of 500,000 naira to be paid by APC in silver to the respondents in the appeal. The appellate court held that the appellants did not produce credible evidence that the election took place in 184 polling units of Mende, Ovia, and Southern Ijaw. And now, Rivers State Governor Similari Fubara has shown appreciation for the backing of his fellow party members in the PDP during the political challenges in the state. After the PDP's Governors Forum gathered in Enugu, Fubara said that the meeting was productive and beneficial, emphasizing the aim of providing democratic benefits to their constituents. The governors, in a statement, affirmed that they are backing for Fubara and committed to broader consultations for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. That's all in Biscon Politics.
Welcome back. You're watching Biscon Television News. Now to foreign news. Ursula von der Leyen won a second term as President of the European Commission after pledging to create a continental defense union and to stay the course on Europe's green transition, while cushioning its burden on industry. Members of the European Parliament backed von der Leyen's bid to another 5-year term at the helm of the European Union's powerful executive body, with 401 votes in her favor and 284 against, in a secret ballot in the 720-member chamber. In an address to the Parliament in Strasbourg earlier in the day, von der Leyen, 65, laid out a program focused on prosperity and security, shaped by the challenges of Russia's war in Ukraine, global economic competition, and climate change. She stressed the need not to backtrack on the Green Deal transformation of the EU economy to fight climate change, a key pledge for Green lawmakers who joined her core coalition of centre-right, centre-left, and liberal groups in supporting her. As a pledging to support Ukraine for as long as it takes in its fight against Russia. Von der Leyen said Europe's liberty was at stake and that it must invest more in defense. You're watching Biscon Television News. Up next is Sports News. Join us again. This is Biscon Sports News. Former Super Eagles defender Ifeanyi Udeze has said the Super Falcons should not be judged by their loss to Canada in the test game. The Falcons continued their preparations for this summer's Olympics in Paris with a test game with resigning Women's Olympic champions Canada. After 90 minutes, the Falcons lost 1-0 to the Canadians, who they held to a goalless draw in the group stage at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Despite the defeat, Udeze played it down, positing the test game is not enough to judge how the Falcons would perform in Paris. The Falcons are in the same group with world champions Spain, two-time Olympic silver medal winners Brazil, and former World Cup winners Japan. The 9-time African champions will open their campaign against Brazil, who they lost 3-1-2 in the group stage at the Beijing Olympics. This will be the first time the Falcons will feature at the Olympics after debuting at Sydney 2000. They went on to qualify for the Athens 2004 and Beijing Olympic Games. Now, the Hazmat Village for the Paris Olympics and Paralympics officially opened and welcomed its first inhabitants on Thursday. The village to the north of Paris would house nearly 14,500 people, including 9,000 athletes at its peak. 8 days before the opening ceremony, the first team members to arrive were from Australia and Brazil. We are ready, the deputy head of the village, Augustin Transvachal, told French media. Organizers are proud of offering a village that they say does not require air conditioning to keep residents cool, with temperatures inside said to be at least 6 degrees Celsius, 42 Fahrenheit, lower than outside in summer. Some delegations have ordered their own air conditioning units already. The village contains a host of innovations intended to make it a model of low-carbon construction after they have been used by Olympians and Paralympians between July 26 and September 8. The pattern to be converted into homes with at least a third destined for public housing. And that's it for Biscon Sports News. Welcome back. You're still watching Biscon Television News. Now, entertainment news. Nigerian musician Young John has opened up about his challenges while transitioning from a producer to a performing artist. In an interview, he revealed that self-conviction was the hardest part, as he had to convince himself that he could succeed as an artist. Young John also discussed his emotional side, sharing that the last time he cried was when he lost his mother. He acknowledged that people often deceive themselves to feel better, and when asked about his biggest turn-off, he stated that he dislikes people who are not true to themselves, emphasizing the importance of authenticity. You're still watching Biscon Television News. The news continues shortly. Welcome back. You're watching Biscon Television News. Now to the major points of the news again. On the national scene, President Tinubu approves 70,000 naira minimum wage to Nigerian workers. Federal government makes U-turn, sets 16 as minimum age for tertiary institutions. In business news, CBN sells forex to BDCs at 1,450 naira to a dollar. On the foreign scene, European Union Commission re-elect von der Leyen. And in the other sports, Paris Olympics athletes village officially opens ahead of sports games. And that's the news on Biscon Television, compiled and produced by Tomiloba Abalan. We leave you with the last line. Learn everything you can, anytime you can, from anyone you can, for there will always come a time when you'll be grateful you did. I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, ma'am, for the introduction. And thank you everyone for attending today. Hopefully I can give you another good example of one of the good results that hopefully soon will be launched through the Mean Diver project. So the idea is we want to make it easier for people to understand or to know what data is available in Nigeria. For example, you're interested in investing, you're interested in knowing which minerals or which occurrences exist in certain regions. So let's go through the slides I have prepared for you today. So next slide, please.
Exploitation is key. So over the past few days, sector and ensuring collaboration among stakeholders, it is necessary that we track the key takeaways of the progress and continue to with the collaborative efforts with government. So we as PwC are proud to continue to support the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development as it continues to push the sector to achieve its full potential. On behalf of my colleagues and
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on the abstract and concrete lessons and knowledge gained in the course of the various discussions through the conference sessions, technical workshops, and business links. Before this time next year, we have tangible testimonies to share, both in our individual endeavors and the national economy. Therefore, on behalf of Miners Association of Nigeria, I wish to express appreciation to His Excellency, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his intention to turn around our natural endowments into massive wealth creation, and for his opening keynote address at this year's event through his representative, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume. We are also immensely grateful to the state chief executives who came either in person or by representation, the chairman of the two committees of the National Assembly on Solid Minerals, our host, the Honorable Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dr. Henry Dele Alake, the Minister of Seed Development, Prince Shuaibu Audu, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, heads of government agencies, captains of industry, our esteemed sponsors and exhibitors, delegates, ladies and gentlemen of local and international media, and numerous visitors for making this event a huge success. Finally, I wish to say kudos again to our partners, PwC, for supplying the contents that enrich this conversation, and for the VUCA Group and Mining Review Africa for mobilizing resources and managing same for the success of this great event. Once again, I say thank you, looking forward to your feedback, and seeing you next year. Thank you all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me very great pleasure to be here, as I was yesterday during the opening ceremony. My job is to declare this event, the Nigeria Mining Week 2023. However, I wouldn't have done justice to that without a profound gratitude on behalf of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I actually had a phone conversation with him about 2 hours back in my vehicle going back to the office. And he specifically asked me about the feedback. He saw a lot of the activities on TV and in the media generally and was impressed, but he wanted a verbatim report from me. And I gave it to him. And I told him I was coming to end the session this evening. And he said I should expressly let you all know that from the bottom of his heart, he thanks you enormously for making sure that this has happened and for partnering with him and with the government in shifting attention, global attention, to the criticality of the resources, mineral resources that we have in Nigeria. And that is in consonance with his own vision of diversifying the Nigerian economy from the age-long dependency on oil to solid minerals. And that with what has transpired here in the last 72 hours, is very confident that Nigeria is on the right path. And he enjoins me to appeal to you that this is just the beginning. He pledges his unalloyed cooperation and support for every effort that we make collectively to ensure the translation of his vision in the solid mineral sector to reality, for the benefit of not just Nigeria, Africa, but for the entire world. Because Nigeria has a surfeit of sought-after critical minerals. The desired minerals in the world today, we have in abundance. And so what is needed is the methodology, the strategy and tactics to ensure the efficient and proficient exploitation and expenditure of the accruable resources therefrom. And we can't do this alone. Government cannot do it alone. Yes, we are doing our own part by creating an enabling environment, making sure that the operating environment is conducive to you, the players in the industry. But you are the players. Without your active collaboration and support through ideas, suggestions, comments, views, and in fact, insightful, penetrating questions, we will not be able to translate that vision into reality. While thanking you all, especially the organizers, our partners, the formidable PwC, the Mining Review, the VOCA Group, the various departments, government agencies, and especially you, the participants. I want to profusely thank you for all that you have done to make sure that this year's edition, the 8th edition of the Nigerian Mining Week, has been a resounding success. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Throughout the deliberations and the cross-fertilization of ideas, I have personally witnessed robust engagement and have learned a lot. And I'm sure we have all learned lots of ideas, gained insights into new ways of doing things, new methods of implementing and executing even policies that we conceptualize on the part of government. And this is a symbiotic relationship between the government and your good selves and all the other stakeholders in the industry. On our part, I can assure you that the President has given his pledge to increase funding into this sector through the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals. With such funding, we can then embark on those very significant steps that we need to take going forward, such as generating the big data, without which we cannot begin to talk about any serious implementation or execution of policies, or attracting the much needed foreign investment. So moving forward, we are going to invest heavily in big data generation, efficient data that would enable investors, both local and foreign, to make informed decisions and judgments on areas where they want to operate, to let them know what is where and how. Another thing we are going to do, which we have actually started, and I said a little bit about this at the CEO session earlier this afternoon, that is a most critical factor of operation, and that's security. I mentioned it again yesterday in my opening remarks. We are rejigging the security architecture that we have on ground. And it's going to be inter-security agency structure with a large dose of technology to ensure that those that are genuinely licensed would have a very peaceful environment to operate, reduce frictions between operators in the field and their host communities, reduce whatever acrimony between operators and other levels of government, state, local, whatever. And at the end of the day, achieve our common objective of maximally exploiting these our God-given resources for the benefit of humankind. We are going to ensure that going forward, all our environments are made safe, operating environments are made safe for the players in the industry, so that government too can rest on its oars and expect the windfall that we have seen in the horizon coming into the kitty of government. We are going to ensure that we put in place administrative structures. I have enumerated some of these in my earlier submissions, both at private sessions and the opening remarks, and even publicly before now. We are putting in place a lot of mechanisms to ensure that this sector attains its pride of place in Nigeria's socio-economic structure. We want to ensure that within the next couple of months, in the short term, and years, few years in the longer term, this sector contributes meaningfully, significantly to the gross domestic product of Nigeria. And it becomes the next critical resource of Nigeria's economic survival. We want to ensure that the solid mineral sector takes over from oil as the major revenue earner and source to the government and people of Nigeria. But all of these grandiose ideas cannot come into fruition without your active collaboration and support. So what this edition, the 8th edition of the Mining Week, has achieved in intangible terms is the direction of attention to this sector, whether we like it or not, outside without prejudice to the various deals and networking that have taken place. You have all succeeded in shifting our attention and complementing the efforts of our ministry in ensuring that everybody now becomes aware of the critical nature of the solid mineral sector and industry in Nigeria. In fact, to eloquently demonstrate this, in the last several weeks, I've been bombarded by investors, both local and foreign. And in the last 2-3 days, my phone has been buzzing ceaselessly from people making inquiries about how to get involved in the solid minerals industry in Nigeria. And I give you the credit for all of this. We need to sustain this effort. We must sustain this effort, because to achieve success is not terribly difficult. The most difficult aspect is sustaining success. We have achieved the initial success of diverting attention. In fact, critical levels of government in Nigeria and stakeholders have their attention riveted on the solid mineral sector today. However, we must not only translate this attention into concrete and meaningful reality, but we must sustain the achievements that we have garnered from this edition. I therefore thank every one of you, participants, stakeholders, organizers, agencies, investors, for all that you have done in ensuring the outstanding success of this edition. On this note, on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, and particularly on behalf of the President, I declare this 8th edition of the Nigerian Mining Week closed. God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, everyone. Would you please, Honorable Minister, do us the honor to please stay on stage as we want to take a picture, sir. Honorable Minister, we would like to take a picture, family picture. I would like to invite.
We want to thank all our sponsors, our brand sponsors, all the partners, all of you. Before he leaves, you have been there. Thank you for all the VIPs, VVIPs, speaker moderators. Thank you very much. We will send you the proceedings in the next 10 days. You will have them. Honorable Minister, I would like to promise you that the technical department will be receiving the proceedings and the reports of this conference. Thank you to my team, thank you to the editing, thank you to the marketing team, thank you to the press, thank you to my bouncers, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to the Please take this time to greet Honorable Minister, please. Thank you for your time, sir. You've been very exhausted, we understand, but thank you for giving us the order to be with us throughout these 3 days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for attending the 8th edition of Nigeria Mining Week. If you want to be a contributor, kindly please send us an email, contact us. We will be attending to you and discuss. As you leave, please, there is tea and coffee refreshments. The stairs are still open. You can still visit. You can still grab something. The team is there to welcome you on the tea and coffee refreshment as you do it. Make sure you take your phones, all your belongings, your bags, your delicate bags, everything. And thank you so much, and we trust that you're going to be.
We are expecting you again in about a week or a few days. Yes, there's AFRIS, that is the African Natural Resources and Energy Investment Summit, also taking place here in this very hall. So we will expect every one of you to attend. It promises to be another very exciting session. Thank you very much.
In a week time.
It's from the 31st of October to 2nd of November.
31st of October to 2nd of November.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are all invited.
Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator John Akume, A round of applause, please. Let's all be standing to welcome Mr. President, ably represented by the SGM. Thank you, sir.
Master of our state, Sule, all our governors, ably represented here. The Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals Development, man with the words, Dele Alake, Minister of Steel Development, Brother Shwagu Awudu, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris, Minister of State, Water Resources, Permanent Secretaries, Captains of the Industry, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my profound honor to address you on this occasion of the opening session of the 8th edition of the Nigeria Mining Week. I welcome you all to this conference and extend to you best wishes of His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, who has asked me to represent him. The Nigeria Mining Week is more than just a conference and an exhibition. It is a networking platform designed for the global mining community, in particular, to showcase the huge potentials of the Nigerian mining industry. It's an opportunity to establish or influence the mining industry. This year's theme, capitalizing on Nigeria's critical mineral resources for its economic growth, has been carefully chosen to amplify to the world the giant strides we have tried to accomplish in the mining sector, while affirming the commitment of the federal government of Nigeria to supporting the investors in the mining sector to grow and to develop the great potentials of the industry. The mining sector in Nigeria has suffered long neglect, but against of the last 17 years, initiated with very audacious reforms by the federal government, have repositioned the sector to a trajectory of successes of huge dimension. This year's theme underscores the federal government's commitment to sustainable development, investment, and cooperation within the mining industry, with a special focus on maximizing Nigeria's mining potential. This administration has hit the ground running with the unbundling of the former Ministry of Mines and Steel Development into Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and Ministry of Steel Development, in order to demonstrate the resolve of the federal government to maximize the potentials of the mining industry, to significantly improve its contribution to the revenue of government. Having critically studied the modus operandi of the mining industry in Nigeria, the present administration has observed the huge losses recorded by the nation through the export of crude mineral commodities, and therefore has evolved a policy of value addition to its mineral resources before exportation. The policy will ensure that the teeming youth in the country will also be meaningfully absorbed in economic ventures that will empower them while developing their skills, specialized areas of human endeavor, as well as serve as a source of generation of the much-needed foreign exchange for the country. Through this policy, the era of export of crude mineral ores from Nigeria is gone. Thus, it is gratifying to note that many companies in Nigeria have already adjusted their business plans to this new normal, and all others are encouraged to do so. Government shall continue to create and maintain a benevolent business environment for genuine investors to thrive in Nigeria. This shall be done by ensuring policy consistency, creating and maintaining fair fiscal and monetary policies, provision of adequate security and infrastructure. Nigeria is known globally for oil and gas resources, which is just a fraction of its natural resources in the energy sector. However, the narrative is changing because we're determined to use every potential to industrialize this great country. There is no reason why Nigeria and Africa should not be leading in any of the critical mineral value chains. The recent global trends in the energy transition initiatives have led to stunning discoveries which have opened Nigeria to geological exploration works that have proved the availability of huge lithium resources of high grades across many states in Nigeria, including our state. This administration has been very intentional from the start to open the solid minerals and steel sectors for credible business investors. I am therefore glad to be part of this making event, which is to galvanize the various value chain activities in the sector to contribute to the nation's GDP. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore assure you of government's will and unwavering commitment to keep the promise of providing an enabling environment while delivering to the citizens of Nigeria and friends dividends of good governance at all levels. I therefore encourage you to engage in meaningful discussions and networks amongst yourselves and develop business linkages that will legitimize a great outcome which will demonstrate shared prosperity of the natural resources that God has endowed Nigeria with for the benefit of mankind. On behalf of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, I hereby declare open the 8th Nigeria Mining Week and wish you all fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
We'd like to indulge your presence for just a minute. There is a very important unveiling of the new Nigerian state as well. Thank you, sir. Please join us to stage as well. It's just a minute for the Senate Committee Chairman to join us, and then we'll unveil the new geological map.
The benefits of the investors and for the good of all Nigerians. To God be the glory.
Round of applause, everyone. A round of applause, please. I'll just give... Yes, please.
Your Excellency, the President Chairman of the various committees of the National Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues there, this is the mineralization map of Nigeria, very latest one that's been generated by the Geo-Survey Department Agency of the Ministry of Solid Minerals. And with this, you can see all the dotted lines, I mean the dots covering almost every part of Nigeria, which shows that there's hardly any part of Nigeria that you don't have minerals, high quality, rare minerals in viable commercial quantity. And that is the essence of the geodays, is to encourage investors to ensure that they make informed decisions. So, to the glory of God, we welcome every one of you to utilize this map judiciously, proficiently, and efficiently for the benefit of our nation. Thank you.
For those who have sent with the minister, can we have a group photograph? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, can we get the band? Round of applause, please. Another dignitaries as they leave us to the.
Can I please ask Kuda, this is how it's measured. There is a routine for the tour. I also want to remind you we have a key back in the room exactly at 1 o'clock so that we can have our.
Yes. You can talk to the director or the commissioner. Give me a card, sir.